Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Akio Evans, and I'm coming at you with another story time with Akio Evans. But this is what I like to call Synchronicity Sundays. Um, I have so many stories about like synchronicity and serendipitous moments, as I mentioned before, and I want to just probably talk about one of these stories that was on my heart today as I was shuffling through different photos to post of my mother. And because today is Mother's Day, first of all, shout out to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. I hope that you guys who are mothers, who are watching this, that you got a chance to spend time with your mothers, that you got a chance to hug your mothers and love on your mothers. For those like some of us who don't have our mother in the physical realm. Um, my mother, Gloria Taylor, she had transitioned in 2012 of a heart attack. And, you know, even though it was many years ago, I still feel the emptiness for when the holidays come around and days like, when we celebrating mothers. But I push that into joy to celebrate the mothers who I do know. My twin sister, my older sister, my sister in spirit. No, I'm sorry, my sister from another mother, Kaylee, um, my many of my friends who are mothers, they're phenomenal. They, you know, I will be, that would be a whole different video. But to stay on topic, I want to just chime in and just share with you guys as I was discovering these photos uh, to what to post for Mother's Day. I found this photo. Now, if you have an iPhone, they always talk about uh, the photos that had happened on this day. And on this day, about 2 years ago in 2023, I was contacted by, well, I'm gonna just share this. I'm gonna try to save it as much as I can, so that way I can give you the story how it came about. So around this time, 2 years ago, in 2023, I took on a night shift that I was working for about I want to say maybe about a year. And the reason why I took on that night shift and I worked full time, I was working 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. shifts. It was because when the writer's strike had happened, that's when I realized how connected I was with production studios. The majority of the big gigs that I've ever received, or the biggest lump sum of commissions that I will receive, was from production studios like Apple TV with Swagger 2, uh, Marvel with Dominic Thorne. Shout out to Dominic Thorne for the Ironheart Disney Plus series, Bel Air Peacock for season one. We Own This City. I've also done stuff for The Woman King for Gina Bythewood. Um, it's been a lot, y'all. ABC Grownish. But in 2023, a lot of that stuff slowed down. And when it slowed down, I took on a night shift to kind of like keep me afloat. Man, let me tell you this, man. Working the night shift, it changed my circadian rhythm because I had to sleep during the day and wake up probably around like 9 or 10 o'clock to be on my way to work and get there by 12 a.m. And I remember one night I had woke up a little early, and in my bedroom it was pitch dark, and the only thing you could see was the light from my phone. Now, sometimes I'm against actually looking at your phone when you first wake up, but on this night, I gave myself a pass. This night I was looking at the blue light on my phone because if you don't know, it's studies have shown that blue light keeps people up. That's why they tell people it's best that before you fall asleep, try to not look at your phone an hour before you fall asleep. So that way you can have a good night's rest. So me knowing this, I said, well, I need to stay up, so I might as well look at my phone. Now I'm rarely on Facebook. I decided to get on Facebook this this night that I woke up. And maybe I want to say it was like 9 or 10 p.m. because I get ready to go and be out and be there by 12. And I went on Facebook and I started to scroll and I seen this ad. It was somebody that posted of Ludacris, and it kind of was joking on it on a post. but it was a post of Ludacris eating peanut butter. And when I seen the thumbnail, I said, yo, I've never seen this before. So I said, let me click on it. I clicked on it, right? When I clicked on the ad of Ludacris eating peanut butter, as he was eating the peanut butter, his braids would unravel. And I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, how did they do this? So I rewinded that video, like, I don't know how many times. And I'm just looking, I was like, yo, how did they do that? And then I did research and I typed in that commercial on Google. I went through a whole different of a research. And it said that that commercial was a couple of years old. And I was like, wow, I'm late, but how many of y'all might have seen it? It was an ad of Ludacris eating peanut butter, JIF peanut butter to be exact. So then I kind of like snapped out of it. I said, yo, I gotta get ready to go to work. So I got myself together, went to work, and didn't think anything of it. And it's funny because I would bring peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I mean, I'm sorry, I would bring peanut butter and jelly with me. Like I'm talking about the whole container because I didn't like necessarily ordering out. When you work the night shift, it's very limited options that you have to be able to when you're on your lunch break. So sometimes in order for me to save money, I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm just gonna bring, my peanut butter and jelly jars and bring my little, knife or plastic knife or whatever, and I was good. And I realized when I brought my peanut butter, because as you see, I see an ad of peanut butter. I remember to bring it with me. I was running out of peanut butter. So I said, all right, well, when I get off at like 8 o'clock, I'm going to go to the market, which was not that far from where my job was, before I go to bed. So when I got off of work, I went to the market as planned. And I said, I went to the peanut butter aisle to get me some peanut butter. And I said, well, I guess I'm about to be on my Ludacris. I said that to myself. I guess I'm about to be on my Ludacris. And I walked to the peanut butter aisle and I grabbed the JIF peanut butter. I started chuckling, like laughing, like it was crazy. I just seen an ad, not that long ago, a couple of hours ago. So I rung it up in the self checkout line and I left. And this is around the same time that this store in Baltimore called Shoe City, they were closing. They've been in business for several years. So I already had in mind that I wanted to kind of like release a video. And me and my friend Pat, we always talk about like when things are on our mind, we got to put it out because 9 times out of 10, people are thinking the same idea that you're thinking because the idea just not lives inside of you. It lives in other people. And if you don't do anything with it, it will go into another person, another vessel, and that idea will come out. It might not come out the same way that you put it out or that you had in mind, but it will come out because it just doesn't just stay with you. We'll chime on that on another video. So I decided to do this video that I had in mind to kind of like make a video of me acting like I was crying that Shoe City was going out of business. So instead of me going instantly to go to sleep, I was like, all right, let me just do this, man. I don't even feel like doing this video, but let me do this. So I did the video and you know, I said, all right, before I fall asleep, I'm gonna edit it and I'm gonna post it. And when I post it and edit it, and then when I wake up, probably like around, because at this time it was still like in the morning, almost close to, I want to say, the afternoon when I was sitting down editing it. And I finished editing it and I posted it immediately. And I was locked in. When I'm editing, I'm locked in. I'm not checking emails. I'm not, looking at text messages because I want to be able to just, get the thing done. So then I said, well, before I fall asleep, let me check my emails. So I checked my email and and it was at 1 p.m. at this time. It took me a while to edit the video. And I had an email all the way for 2 hours prior at like 11 something. And I was like, yo, snap, what's this? It was with an email from CFG Arena, CFG Bank Arena. So I opened it, and when I read this email, it was from the staff who already wanted me to be able to do a couple pieces for them for that year. And so I was already probably waiting for them to email me, but the email said something like this. And I'm gonna try to remember this. And maybe if I repurpose this video, I'll show you screenshots and all that. But the email says something like, hey, Akio, we know this is last minute. We were wondering if it was possible to make 2 hoodies for Ludacris and Janet Jackson. I said, yo, that's crazy. I literally just looked at an ad from somebody that posted this old commercial on Facebook. When I very first woke up, I looked at Ludacris and the peanut butter, the JIF peanut butter. And I even took a picture of me holding the JIF peanut butter, so that way when I explain this story in the future, that people don't think I'm making this up. And I literally that morning went to the grocery store, and as I was walking to the aisle where the peanut butter is, I literally said, "Well, I guess I'm about to be on my Ludacris." And then I said, oh, okay, no, before I fall asleep, let me make sure I do this video. To only hours later, not even 24 hours later, that I got contacted by CFJ Arena to do 2 hoodies for Janet Jackson and Ludacris. I was like, what is this, bro? Like, this was so wild. And that's one of the few stories that I had when things are in alignment. But I was just like, yo, it was freaking me out. Like that, who does that? Like, how did that even happen? A random post from a person that I know shared a post about Ludacris. I look at it, and then I'm sure they didn't know that Ludacris is going to be in Baltimore. So anyway, I wound up making the hoodies, and they commissioned me. I made 2 of the hoodies, and I connected with one of my friends who does like embroidery, and he does patches, and I killed it. And I had the discography on the left sleeve going down, and I had images, personalized images of Janet Jackson on the right side. I had the CFG Arena's promo in the back, and on the front, I had my Hearts and Heroes logo and the CFG Arena logo embroidered. And for Ludacris, I did the same concept. Discography on the left sleeve going down. On the other side, I had personalized images that's close to his heart. And on the back was just the CFG Arena promo and so on and so forth. And that was around the same time that I also had the Grownish commission that they at ABC, they approved of me doing the hoodie that was going to be worn by Junior onto the series, which I still haven't seen that still to this day. But let me know if you guys seen a lilac hoodie with a heart and it had hearts and heroes on the sleeves. But that's a synchronicity, alignment, serendipitous moment through the grace of God of just, I believe, being faithful over a few things. Waking up in the morning, and then also you setting your mind, you setting the intention of what you look at in the day. That's why it's important that when you wake up in the morning, that you are not looking at things that are negative, things that are supportive. Because if the very first thing you look at, what if I were just scrolling and I seen something else? I think the intention was set, and I just so happened to grab the attention of that. I didn't even know that Ludacris and Janet Jackson was in town, but it's like you dialing in that frequency. And then I was tired. When you first wake up, it's in this book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind. And I just started reading this just recently. This is one of my favorite books that I had for years. As you can tell, the pages are definitely yellow. But this book, it talks about when you very first wake up, how your mind is easily impressed upon, and your subconscious mind controls all the vital processes of your body and knows the answer to all problems. It says prior to sleep, turn over a specific request to your subconscious mind and prove its a miracle working power to yourself. Whatever you impress on your subconscious mind is expressed on the screen of space and conditions, experiences, and events. Therefore, you should carefully watch all ideas and thoughts entertained in your conscious mind. You hear that? It says, therefore, you should carefully watch all ideas and thoughts entertained in your conscious mind. The law of action and reaction is universal. Your thought is action. Your thought is action. And the reaction is the automatic response of your subconscious mind to your thought. Watch your thoughts. So in the very beginning of the day, it says, in it's biblical, it says, guard your mind, guard your heart, guard your ears, and also guard your tongue, because you can speak life and death. Life and death is, we have that power in our tongue. So always speak life. Always make sure that in your diet, in your mental diet, that you are that you're pouring, things into you that is helpful and not harmful. Helpful and not harmful. 2 H's. You can even go, I'm gonna pour helpful or I'm gonna go harmful. You know what I mean? But you want you want to be able to connect one or the other. Whatever, whatever the mind, whatever man, it says it's biblical. As a man thinketh, so is he. As a woman thinketh, so is he. By beholding, you become. But let me know what y'all think about that story, man. That story was wild. And I have so many stories that are similar about like the weird serendipitous and synchronicities that follow us through. But I believe that also is biblical, that being faithful over a few things make you rule over many. Faithful over the job, even though I was tired, I didn't feel like going in. What if I just was like, nah, I'm gonna call out and just decided not to? I feel like every pivotal point was crucial to that manifestation. So yeah, I didn't want to hold y'all. It's Mother's Day, so I'm working on a project as we speak, and well, as I'm talking with you, this project is right here waiting for me. I can't wait to reveal it. I can't wait to show it. But let me know your thoughts. And the book is called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. It's one of my favorites. Definitely look at this book, man. It has so much things in here, man, that you can just learn from. It talks about how when you fall asleep, you want to be able to make sure that you do think about things. And I know you have to do the work. I'm not saying that like it's a magic wand, but you ever thought about a person, or you and your friend was talking about a person and you spoke them up? The mind is so powerful. you know God made us in his image. We are creators, you know what I mean? And I firmly believe in that. I'm gonna just read this chapter 3, and I'm gonna close this out because we have 16 minutes. Chapter 3, it says, the miracle working power of your subconscious mind. It is foolish to believe in sickness and something to hurt or to harm you. Believe in perfect health, prosperity, peace, wealth, and divine guidance. This is really good, y'all. That's why I love reading this. Every once in a while, I read this just to kind of refresh my mind, and it's very helpful. I'm just going through here just to try to see if I find anything before I close. But I highly recommend this book. It's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, Dr. Joseph Murphy. And he has some scriptures in there as well that he adds to it, just definitely it's one of my favorites, one of the good reads, and I highly recommend it. But let me know your thoughts, what you think about this story. I was thinking about sharing this online probably like tomorrow or something like that, about the synchronicities and serendipitous moments of that Ludacris moment. I haven't even shared that with the CFG Bank Arena team. I've done a few works with them. I also did what I've done last year was skates for Usher. It's Air Force One skates, and I put some of his discography onto the skates, and it was a dope piece that the mayor Brandon Scott had presented it to Usher, the same that he presented it to Usher that the night that Usher concert was. I also had a workshop at Gallery Matisse. It's a fine art gallery that I was, instructing people from all over about how Baltimore City the Air Force One, and I brought Paul Blinken to actually also share with the people of how the Air Force One was revived. It was going to be discontinued until enthusiastic wearers from Baltimore and three retailers, Paul Blinken and Harold Rudo of Rudo Sports and DTLR, the three amigos, they all had came together to save the Air Force One in 1984. So yeah, be on the lookout. There's a lot of things that's in the mix behind the scenes. Can't talk about it right now, but let me know your thoughts about what you feel about the Ludacris story, the JIF peanut butter. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you think about it. But that concludes Synchronicity Sundays. Thank you for tapping in. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.